Happy New Year, bestie.
Happy New Year to you and to the Odd Fam. And we're back to recording after like a 2 week break. So this is going to be the most. Just.
Buckle up, fam.
I can tell you. I can tell you right now it's going to be a shit show.
Oh,
It's just what we do best.
it is. It's just what we do best. It is what we do. And if you don't like it, go find another podcast.
Tell them. Here comes a 20-minute intro like y'all love.
Yeah, we have gotten like an increase of love about our intros.
I appreciate it so
And
much.
I can't thank all of you enough for that because
I
I
know.
love it too.
Me too. So that's it. Bye.
Bye.
That's it. Everybody take care. See you. I'm waving like they can see
Yeah.
me. I'm like... Oh, good. Firing on all cylinders. Do you want me to do the intro or would you like to do it this week?
Start us off the new year, bestie.
Okay. Welcome back to Oddities, everybody. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Kellie.
And welcong back to Strange Town. Pew, pew, pew. I did finger guns because I was so excited. all of our social media is in the description below. We're going to be... Nope. Use your words. Use your words. Use your words. We're going to start to be more active on that this year. We have a lot of fun plans for like just everything.
Big things. Stay tuned.
We have to rope them in and put our minds together and come up with the most excellent game plan. But we're going to be starting to get more active on there with like giveaways and cool other things and what have you. So follow along, ski. We also have our email in there. Several of you have sent in many wonderful suggestions, both on there and in social media. So you can always reach out to us either way. And we might not get to your topic right away, but we will. We just have a backlog and we're making our way through, which is so nice. We love that. Oh, and check out our merch. We have a link to that in our description too, as well as our Patreon. Excited to share that our Patreon, we're back. We'll be doing 2 bonus episodes a month, every other week, on Wednesdays. So if you subscribe, you can check them out. Any donation. We don't do it tiered like some of these other people. So any donation level, you can go as low as $1 and you'll get access to the bonus episodes. Everything you want, whatever you want. Yay. So check out our merch. Also, thank you to the brilliant Lindsay Bidwell for our newest designs. She's wonderful. We have a link to her portfolio Instagram as well. So check that out. If you ever need graphic design work or web design work,
she is your girl.
The bomb. That's all.
That's
Bye,
it.
everyone. Stay strange. Stay strong, gay. How ye be, bestie?
Oh, you know how I be.
I do. It's Mercury retrograde. But when this is out, it's done. It's over. We made it.
It's done. It's over. We survived. I hope. Oh, God.
It's over. It's done. God, I hope. Yeah.
I think
Now
still
we're...
have,
Well,
like,
actually, when
10
this comes...
days.
10 days too many, if that's the case. When this comes out, we might be in like the 2-week period after where you can still get fucked. So everybody just...
Okay, but here's the thing.
Honestly...
I was getting it 2 weeks before it started. So I should
Me
not
too.
get the
So
2
maybe
weeks
we're...
post.
Yeah, like, so maybe that's it's like a karma situation. And it's like, okay, well, that's enough of you. And like, then we're done. Because I had shit hit the fan too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that like... If starting the year this way, with all the bad stuff, it just means we're going to have a fantastic, clear year of good things, I'll take it. But if I don't get it,
I've been writing...
I'm going to light Mercury retrograde on fire.
Okay. I mean, I love fire. So I've been writing lots of good manifestation things in my planner. So I'm hoping this new planner works as well as the last one.
Magic!
I know. So let's hope it. I'm gonna light some candles. I'm gonna light myself on fire. It'll all be good.
It'll be fine. It'll be great. It'll be grand.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So we've had a rockin' start to the new year, not in a fun rock and roll kind of way, more in like a life's an earthquake kind of way.
What is happening kind of way?
Yeah. How's your leg doing? Kellie she tore a muscle.
It's fine. I'm supposed to be taking it easy, and I'm trying, but I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So that doesn't always work.
Take it easy, my ass.
And
right.
I think it was Wednesday night or something of this week. I'm supposed to be taking it easy, just no running, no doing stairs, things like that, trying to let it heal. And something scared me on Wednesday night, and I jumped, and that
nope,
it did not feel good. That was no
set
bueno.
us back.
And then I went to go see my parents, and I was on it way more than I really, really should have been. Yesterday, my husband instructed me not to move, and so I didn't, and it's feeling a lot better today, so that's good, but I'm trying to keep it up, as I was telling Cassie before we started recording.
She's got an ottoman set up. It's all good.
It's pretty good. But, yeah, and it's just, well, ultimately, I just wish I had a cooler story about how I tore the muscle.
I mean, that's all right. These things happen.
I was walking to a grocery store. That's not that cool.
It's just... But you were walking in such style to the grocery store that your muscles couldn't keep up with you. That's what the problem was. I'm telling you now.
It's just, and then the amount of looks I got because I kind of tumbled, right? And people just would stare at me. Do you need any help? No.
Nope.
Nothing. They just, weird ass looks. So thanks.
Fucking people. I fucking hate people so much.
But other than that, it is what it is, and it's fine. I'll survive.
Question mark.
And then there's been a bunch of other stuff that we just don't need to go into, but it is what it is, and 2023 is going to be a better year already. I just know it.
or else just threaten the entire year.
How are you?
I'm fine. Let's see. During our 2-week hiatus of recording, I had a very hectic first half of it, both fun. But the second half of it, I came down with like the world's worst stomach bug. It was like Oregon Trail style dysentery level.
Oh gosh.
Like bathroom experience. It was gnarly. And it lasted for like 3 days. And then it just took me like another 3 days I was just like wiped out, just like totally wiped out. And like still would get, when I started to eat, like full really, really quickly. And now I'm back to normal though, so yay. First week back at work was gnarly for many reasons. But it was fine. And I'm starting a podcast at work, so that'll be fun. If anybody's interested in DPCR technology and science careers, join us. It'll drop probably sometime in March or April.
You guys get to hear the business side of Cassie.
I know, it's going to be complete and total opposite of how I am on the, like, I have to check all my shit. Actually, that's why I need this outlet, because I need to fucking curse somewhere, and it can't fucking happen on that podcast. That's for sure. But we're gonna be talking to some like very cool researchers about like really interesting work that they're doing, and we have a tentative name for it, but we're waiting on the green light from legal, so I'm not going to share that yet. But if anybody's interested, I encourage you to check it out. I'll give you more information in the coming weeks.
Yeah, help Cassie be amazing and like viral for her job, so they just know how badass she is, because we all know she is.
So I can get 35 promotions and raises.
That's the goal now. Cassie's going to get 35 promotions and raises this year.
Just this year alone.
Just this year, you guys.
Mama better start manifesting real hard. And let's see. Corey and I were going to go do this very fun thing last night. We have a roller rink by our house, and they were doing a retro roller night. So the DJ was going to be spinning shit from like the 60s up to the early 2000s, and you can come dressed as like your decade. And we were hyped. We were going to go, and then Boo was acting a little bit under the weather, so we decided to stay home and keep the baby company. But they do it a few times during the year, so we're just going to keep our eye out and go next time. But we think we might go to like a free skate sometime before the next one, because neither of us has roller skated and or bladed for like two decades.
2 decades at least.
Probably should like warm up so that we can throw the fuck down when we go for retro roller.
I'm gonna add that to a list of fun things to do when I visit Cassie.
Absolutely. We have to time it. So you come when there is one.
Right.
But be prepared to when I say I'm going to dress up, I'm going to dress like the fuck up,
Oh, yeah, as you should.
You need to show up or don't show up at all. Yeah, so.
Go big or go home. We don't play games. We don't do small.
Precisely. And we went to Trader Joseph's yesterday morning, and that was fun, and we got many things.
I love Trader
My
Joe's.
favorite, yeah, two of my favorites being tamales. Those were really good, and also cauliflower gnocchi. Totally safe for
Is that
me.
good?
Very
Because I haven't.
delicious.
I just saw it
Yeah,
and I was like, that looks good, but I didn't get it. So I'm glad you tried
yeah.
it.
They're like the texture, of course, obviously is like not quite the same, but like the flavor is really good, and we actually used them in a soup, and it was
Oh,
like with the bomb.
and yeah,
Yeah.
okay, the texture's not there, but at least it's something you can have, though. That's the exciting thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then plus with like regular gnocchi, I mean, I have issues, so I don't know how regular people feel when they have regular gnocchi, but I always just feel like so full because they're so dense.
hmm
And these are like definitely a lighter version, so you can go harder with your
The
plate.
the
So-
cauliflower latkes are really good.
Ooh, okay, I'll have to keep that
Just
in
so
mind
you're
too. We're
aware.
gonna try and go more. We've discovered that the time to go is like at opening
At
because there's
opening
like way
and
less people.
yeah, and by the I you probably didn't run into this if you went early yesterday, but I think Saturdays is the days they decide to restock. At least over with
Yeah,
us, it seems that way.
yeah, we were good. Like because the first time we ended up going around like 11 or 12, and it was just like a fucking shit show. And we were like, we can't enjoy anything. We can't even browse this shit. And yesterday morning, like there were people there, but like we got to take our time, and you can't just go to Trader Joe's and do it. Like you have to explore, and you have to look.
It's facts. Also, you can
You
have.
know.
I don't know if you can have. Have you experimented with whether or not goat milk upsets you?
Yeah, so I can have goat milk, but I'm trying to limit like dairy in all forms. I'm not trying to cut it out entirely like I used to because it's just not feasible for me, but I'm trying to like very strictly limit the amount I have. So, yeah.
Well, when you decide that you deserve some dairy, the goat
Yes.
cheese Gouda is
Yum. Oh,
it's my favorite. It is my
I love
favorite,
it.
and it doesn't hurt
Good to
me,
know.
so I love that.
Okay. Excellent. All right, yeah, I'll try that shit. So, anyway, that's the latest and greatest from yours truly. Really not anything all that thrilling, but I am done with school, so I'm loving my free
Yes,
time.
and she has the most beautiful nails in celebrating that milestone.
Yes. Although, look how much, thanks to my hair, skin, and nails, look how much they've grown just in the short amount of time since I got them done.
Ooh,
That's a lot, right? I had to trim them because they were getting like crazy long. And like, look at that, look at the gap at the top.
that's
They've grown a
impressive.
lot. Yeah. So, God bless my hair, skin, and nails vitamin.
Yeah, and your
Everybody.
skin is glowing today too.
She's glowing. That's because you're
She's
interviewing me
beauty,
after this for
she's
bonus
grace,
content.
she's Miss
She's
Podcast United States.
That's correct. That's correct. Manifesting this is the year when we can just do this full time for the rest of our
Oh, that
lives.
would be the freaking dream. I love this so much.
Dude, if only. I miss the well, I mean, of course I missed you, but you and I talked pretty much every day anyway.
Yeah,
But I
here's the
missed
funny
doing
thing.
this with you.
Michael's like, well, do you miss recording? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, do you miss Cassie? And I'm like, we talk every day. He goes, yeah, as I said it didn't come out there.
It didn't work. Yeah, I know. So at least we get to talk all the time regularly. But you and I still have shit to share when we do this, which is cool.
Yes.
So
I
I
always try to
purposely
keep like,
withhold
yeah.
like a yeah.
I purposely withhold 100%. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Secrets. All right, well, true to form, here we are 13 and a half minutes in, everybody.
Woot
Should we get to the
woot.
theoretically, why you listen to this?
Yes.
All right. My topic's a little heavy. I'm talking about moida. So is yours a little lighter or
Well,
oh good.
mine might involve
Okay, great.
murder.
Oh good. All right. Well, I really don't know how we can end this on a happy note then. So, you know,
Mine
we can rock
is
paper scissors.
mine's a wild like conspiracy theory. So,
Oh, I love a conspiracy theory. So
yeah.
let's I said it like that because
I
do you
wish
remember the
everyone
one
could see what your eyes just did.
because the one time way back when Anna and I were recording, it came out like that one time when I was trying to say conspiracy theory. And then like after that, like she wouldn't let me fucking live and then I wouldn't let myself fucking live. So we just kept saying it like that. So
I mean,
from
it's
henceforth
fabulous.
it's conspiracy theory. Yeah. So would you like to start with that or would you like to close with the conspiracy?
Let's close.
All right, Mama's kicking it off then with the Villisca or no, I think it is Villisca Axe Murder House. Very fun, funky, fresh. So, I guess, disclaimer here, murder coming.
Violence.
Yep. So, yeah, violence, the usual.
If
So,
you don't want to hear it, skip to conspiracy theories.
conspiracy theories. So, long before, of course, our beloved serial killers and mass murders, which have now become a way of life, 2 adults and 6 children were found brutally murdered in their beds in the small Midwestern town of Villisca, Iowa. Iowa. There's really not much happening in Iowa as far as I know. Like, this is.
Nope. I guess that's
Yep,
it.
all right. Apparently this. So during the weeks that followed, life in Villisca was like, wild. It changed drastically as a result of all this. So anyway, residents started to reinforce their locks. They started openly carrying weapons. They started huddling together while sleeping. Newspaper reporters and private detectives flooded the streets during after this whole situation. There were accusations and rumors and suspicion among family and friends. Bloodhounds were brought in. Law enforcement agencies from neighboring counties and states joined forces. You get it. The shit hit the fan after this. So, and yet, the murders remained unsolved, and the murderer unpunished. So, jumping forward a little bit in time, in 1994, Darwin and Martha Lynn of Corning, Iowa, actually purchased the former home of the murder victims.
I would.
And then the house, big time. The house was returned to its original condition, and it's listed on the National Registrar of Historic Places, and it's open for tours. So, I mean, I sense a trip to Iowa. Literally the only reason for us to go to Iowa, I think, probably.
Really,
and
that's
yeah,
it.
so here's the lead up to the Moitas. June 9th and 10th of 1912. So, Lena and Ina Stillinger, the daughters of Joseph and Sarah Stillinger, left their home for church early Sunday morning. They planned on having dinner with their grandmother after, the service. I guess they were going to do, the whole early dinner, Sunday thing.
Yeah.
Spending the afternoon with her and then returning to her home the night after the Children's Day exercises concluded. So, these girls, however, were invited by a Catherine Moore to spend the night at the Moore home. Instead. So prior to leaving for the exercises, Mr. Moore placed a call to the Stillinger home to ask permission for the girls to stay overnight. Blanche, who was Lena and Ina's older sister, told Mr. Moore that her parents were both outdoors, but that she would pass along the message to them. So the Children's Day program at the Presbyterian Church was an annual event, and it began approximately at 8 p.m. on Sunday evening, June 9th. According to witnesses, Sarah Moore coordinated the exercises. All of the Moore children, as well as the Stillinger girls, participated. Josiah Moore sat in the congregation, and the program ended at about 9:30 p.m., and the Moore family, along with the Stillinger sisters, walked home from the church, and they entered their home sometime between 9:45 and 10 o'clock at night. All right, so this is where we're at so far. The following morning, around 5 a.m., Mary Peckham, who was the Moore's next-door neighbor, steps into her yard to hang laundry. Why the fuck we're doing laundry at 5 in the morning, I don't know, because I sure as fuck don't. But that's maybe just me. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, did my headphones die? Let's see. So, did I tell you about 5 a.m.? Did you hear that part?
Yeah, and I was going to say something really smart-assery, but it went out of my brain.
Okay, so and I proceeded to be a smartass and say, why the fuck was she doing laundry at 5 a.m.? But nobody knows.
Because there's nothing to do in Iowa.
Boom! There it is. So, at around 7 a.m., she realized that not only had the Moores not been outside, nor had their chores begun at all, but the house itself seemed very, very still. So between 7 and 8 a.m., Mary, the neighbor, approaches the house and knocks on the door. She receives no response, so she attempts to open the door only to find it locked from the inside. And after letting out Moore's chickens, she places a call to Josiah's brother, Ross.
What a name.
Setting into place one of the most basically mismanaged murder investigations that will ever be undertaken. So here's the crime itself. Based on the testimonies of Mary Peckham, and those who saw the Moores at the Children's Day exercises the night before, It's believed that sometime between midnight and 5 a.m., an unknown assailant entered the home of J.B. Moore and brutally murdered all occupants of the house with an axe.
Ugh.
I know. So, here are the victims. Let's give a little bit of a rundown here. So, upon arriving at the home of his brother, Ross attempts to look in a bedroom window and then knocks on the door and shouts, attempting to raise someone, inside the house to come open up. When that fails, he produces his keys and found that one of them, could be used to open the door. And although Mrs. Peckham followed him onto the porch, she did not enter into the house, which was the parlor of the house. So Ross went no farther than the room off the parlor. So it was like the parlor and then one room off of it. When he opens the bedroom door, he sees two bodies on the bed and dark stains on the bedclothes. So he returned immediately to the porch and told Mrs. Peckham to call the sheriff. The two bodies in the room downstairs were Lena Stillinger, who was 12 years old, and her sister Ina, or Ina, I don't know how you say it. She was 8, and they were the house guests for the night. So they were the ones who were originally supposed to stay at their grandma's, but then the Moores were like, nah, you could just crash with us.
Okay.
So that's terrible because they were just precious little babies.
Yeah.
The remaining members of the Moore family were found in the upstairs bedrooms by the city marshal, Hank Horton, who arrived shortly after receiving the call on all this. Every person in the house had been brutally murdered. Their skulls were crushed while they were sleeping. Isn't that horrendous? So Josiah Moore, the head of the house, the man of the house, whatever, he was 43. Sarah Montgomery Moore, his wife, she was 39. Herman Moore, his son, age 11. Catherine Moore, daughter, age 9. Boyd Moore, age 7. And Paul Moore, age 5. As well as then the two Stillinger sisters. All of them dead. Isn't that awful?
Ugh. Ugh.
I know. So here's the crime scene itself a little bit. So once the murders were discovered, news travels quickly. This town is like an inch by 1 inch. So everybody's shitting themselves collectively because they all hear about this stuff in 5 seconds. The neighbors and curious onlookers start to converge upon the house. Law enforcement officials quickly lose control of the crime scene, and it is said that up to 100 people traipsed through the house, gawking at the bodies, before the Villisca National Guard finally arrived around noon to cordon off the area and secure the home.
Why would you do
What
that?
the fuck?
Why would you? Why?
Listen, I'm the queen of morbid curiosity, and I sure as fuck wouldn't do that. That's the most disrespectful fucking shit.
It's
what the
horribly
fuck?
Disrespectful, and then not to mention like just
tainting everything.
Yeah.
I just honestly, what the fuck with people? So anyway, by that point, really, the only known facts coming out of the scene of the crime, because they had been so fucked with, were that 8 people had been bludgeoned to death, presumably with an axe left at the crime scene. It appeared that all had been asleep at the time of the murders. Doctors estimated time of death somewhere shortly after midnight. Curtains were drawn on all of the windows in the house except for 2, which did not have curtains on them. Those windows were covered with clothing belonging to the Moores. All of the victims' faces were covered with the bedclothes after they were killed. A kerosene lamp was found at the foot of the bed of Josiah and Sarah. The chimney was off and the wick had been turned back, and the chimney was found under the dresser. A similar lamp was found at the foot of the bed of the Stillinger girls, chimney also off. The axe had been found in the room occupied by the Stillinger girls. It was bloody, but an attempt had been made to wipe it off, and the axe supposedly belonged to Josiah Moore, basically the father of the house.
Okay.
The ceilings in the parents' bedroom and the children's room showed gouge marks, apparently made by the upswing of the axe. So I guess these were pretty low fucking ceilings, or this was a giant person, but whatever. A piece of keychain was found on the floor in the downstairs bedroom. A pan of bloody water was discovered on the kitchen table, as well as a plate of uneaten food. All of the doors were locked, which is weird.
Yeah.
The bodies of Lena and Ina Stillinger were found in the downstairs bedroom off the parlor. Ina was sleeping closest to the wall with Lena on her right side. A gray coat covered her face. Lena, according to the inquest testimony of Dr. F.S. Williams, quote, lay as though she had kicked one foot out of her bed sideways, with one hand up under the pillow on her right side, half sideways, not clear over, but just a little. Apparently, she had been struck in the head and squirmed down in the bed perhaps 1/3 of the way. Lena's nightgown was slid up and she was wearing no undergarments, and there was a blood stain on the inside of her right knee and what the doctors assumed was a defensive wound on her arm. Dr. Linguist, the coroner, reports a slab of bacon was on the floor in the downstairs bedroom lying near the axe. The bacon weighed nearly 2 pounds and was wrapped in what he thought may be a dish towel, and then a second slab of bacon about the same size was found in the icebox, which is super weird. Dr. Linguist also made note of one of Sarah's shoes, which he found on Josiah's side of the bed. The shoe was found on its side, however, it had blood inside as well as under it. It was Linguist's assumption that the shoe had been upright when Josiah was first struck, and that blood ran off the bed into the shoe, and he believed the killer later returned to the bed to inflict additional blows and subsequently knock the shoe over. So, those are the only facts that they could basically walk away with from this crime scene, because people,
Yeah.
period. Had the murders been committed today, I think we probably could have very readily brought the murderer to justice, but at the time of like a lot of this research that I found, it has been like, I think at this point now, let's see, this was 1912, so it's been like 110 years,
Yeah.
and it's still unsolved. And the murderer or murderers are probably, well, not probably, they're definitely long dead. The secret has been buried with them, and in hindsight, it's easy to blame the officials at the time, but like also, what the fuck with the townspeople? In 1912, just a little history, fingerprinting was still a very like new venture, and DNA testing was non-existent. But a local druggist had the forethought to attempt to enter the crime scene with his camera, but then he was thrown out. So he tried.
Yeah.
Like, I guess. I mean, whether he was doing it for the right reasons or not, I really can't say. But it is probable that even if the crime scene had been secure, the evidence would not have been provided, or would not have really provided any real clues, because the technology wasn't really there. There was no like central database of fingerprints. It just, whatever. But per the website, if anybody's curious to go to this house, overnight booking is available year-round.
Oh,
You
my
can call
God.
between, 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and book your stay. And overnights pricing is $428 for groups from 1 to 6 people, $75 per additional person. There is a $200 non-refundable deposit to be paid when you book a date, and your deposit goes towards the full amount. So if you want, you can go, you can take a tour, you can stay overnight.
I don't know
in
that I
this
want to
house.
stay overnight in the house. I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay. If you're not comfortable, we don't need to do that. I
I'll
would stay
tour the
overnight.
house.
I'll tour it, yeah.
I would be terrified that I'm gonna have a
that's
sleep paralysis thing. That's why.
oh, big time, yeah. I think this would be solid fodder for that to happen. So, yeah, maybe not. But that's all there is on it. Frankly, to me, the weirdest part is that
All the doors were locked.
one, the Moors were kind of pushy, I feel like, to have the Stillinger girls stay there. Two, one of the Stillinger girls didn't have any undergarments on, so I feel like assault probably happened. And three, the doors were all locked from the inside. I feel like, but at the same time, how would you bludgeon yourself with an axe?
Yeah, and then also, I don't know, I feel like they must have known somebody who had a key.
Somebody had a key. Maybe it was Ross. Maybe it was the brother.
It's so bizarre.
The whole thing is so disgusting and
then
upsetting. Like
to have
all
like
those
all the
children.
townspeople walking through, you have to.
I know, like it's this fucking.
Yeah, the question is the killer had to have come to see their doings.
Yeah.
And see the reactions of people, because that's what killers like.
I know. So like they had to have been there, especially if like over 100 fucking people were there. I guarantee this
killer
person
was
showed
there.
up. I'm gonna assume
Also,
it was a dude.
What the hell's with the bacon?
Oh yeah, what's the bacon about? Like, why is it in the one room where the murders, and then they're matching one in the kitchen in the freezer? I like, what the and then there was a plate of uneaten food. Did they like make themselves some food and they were like, no, I'm not actually hungry? And then they went around and they like covered the faces with clothing. So it's like, okay, clearly there was some sort of like weird guilt thing afterwards that this person, I don't know. But it is a very strange moida,
Very,
a very
very
gruesome
bizarre.
one. And really, I don't know, like, honestly, and my theories are very limited on this because there's just not much to work with. It's got to be, at first I thought it was maybe Josiah and he did it, but then I was like, no, how could he
how
have
do you
killed
axe
himself
yourself?
then with the axe? So then I was like, okay, maybe it was a family friend, like you had said, who has a key to the house. Because if everything's locked, I mean, they had to, unless one of the windows was unlocked. And
Mm,
maybe they missed that because like so many people were around or whatever. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. So it's a crazy freaking murder. If anybody else has any additional information on it, or if you want to read up on it, there's like, I found some like old news articles, like original news articles from when this happened. There's a lot of really interesting stuff out there. It's just really, the whole thing's a shame.
It's quite truly like just an unsolved mystery. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
And then again, before serial killers, I guess. But to live in that town knowing that an entire household was brutally murdered and not like were there no constant questions?
I know, seriously. Like, I mean, and like you heard me at the beginning, like some of the stuff that was being reported that I looked at, I was like, and everybody started carrying weapons, and like everybody was huddling together at night, and like I would have, but like also, fuck the townspeople.
Yeah.
Excuse me. For being disgusting fucking people and traipsing through all this shit and not having any respect for the situation. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
literally, the bodies hadn't even been removed from the house, and these people are swarming on it. Like, come on.
Why would you want to see that? Is my thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
I don't know.
ugh.
Yeah, but that's the Villisca Axe Murders / Murder House. So
That's intense. How did you find this one?
Google.
The
I just, I,
good
I
old
just, I think I looked
Google.
up. I think I looked up like something along the lines of like little known murders or like something like that.
Okay.
I was like, I want to cover some like minor ones, but and then a big list came up, and then like I saw this name, and I was like, ooh, that sounds spookla bookla and awful. I think I'll cover
That's
it.
spookaloopoo and awful. That's it.
That's the one. So yeah, that's what I've got for you. Let's hear about your conspiracy theory.
So, ironically, and I know you didn't do this on purpose, mine
Are you in
also
Iowa?
takes place in 1912.
Oh, okay, that's bananas. Really?
Just a
Out of
little
all
like
the years.
connections. So, I'm
Ooh.
going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies and
Hit us.
we all know about the Titanic. You know,
Oh my god,
I
yes.
mean, I think
My
we all know
my
about the
love.
Titanic because of Leo and Kate, but we all know about the Titanic. Famous giant ship,
Yes.
voyage to America, iceberg, sinky sink. That's it.
Sinky sink. Correct. If you look it up in history books, that's how
That's
it's
exactly
that's
how
it.
it says.
That's it. Oh my
Um,
god.
when the Titanic sank in 1912, it shocked the world. Um, it was such a remarkable ship. It was actually considered the unsinkable ship. That wasn't just a movie thing, by the way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but a few conspiracy theories have risen about this. Um, it sounds crazy, but it is wildly believed that it wasn't the Titanic that sunk.
Oh my word. Okay,
Um,
good.
everyone agrees that a ship did sink in the icy waters of the North Atlantic on April 15th, 1912, and approximately 1,500 passengers aboard that ship died. But the conspiracy
Conspiracy theory.
simply suggests the Titanic wasn't actually the technical marvel the ship's parent company, the White Star Line, had promised. Rather, the White Star Line swapped the ships for the voyage from Southampton to New York, and the ship billed as the top of the line Titanic was actually an older ship, the Olympic.
Oh,
But why?
surprise, bitch.
Why
Yeah.
is this thought? Well, funny enough, it's not funny, but it's the entire crash was an insurance scam gone wrong,
Ah, it's always insurance.
right? So in 1902, uh, the White Star had become property owned in International Mercantile Marine Co., a holding
Hmm.
company bankrolled by famed franchisor. That's not the word. My mouth isn't working.
Franchiser.
Thank you.
You
J-
you got it.
J.P. Morgan. With Morgan's permission, the White Star chairman, J. Bruce Ismay, began to work on what became to be known as the Olympic. or known as the Olympic class ships. If they couldn't match the competing ship companies, the Olympic class ships would outclass them. So if they couldn't be as fast, if they couldn't be, get you to your destination, in a better time manner, you're going to be
harder, better, faster, stronger.
There you go. You're going to be riding in luxury. That was the whole thing. So, 3 ships were commissioned: the Olympic, the Titanic, and the Britannic.
Okay.
The Olympic was the first to be built, as its line's namesake, it was considered the lead ship. Its maiden trip was widely heralded. Its first few voyages were unqualified successes, but on its 5th voyage, the vessel ran into serious trouble. On September 10th, September 20th, 1911, while passing a military vessel, the Hawk, the Olympic made an unexpected turn. Caught off guard, the 2 ships crashed. The Olympic was able to limp back to port, badly wounded, and a trial would later hold the White Star Line responsible for the incident.
Oh.
That's all true to fact. All that actually happened. After the crash, conspiracy theories claim that the Olympic was an economic disaster. The lawsuit meant repairs would not be covered by insurance, and it was drawing no money while sitting around the docks because it clearly couldn't go or do anything.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
The company made a switch. Its newly built second ship would take on the Olympic name, while its damaged older ship would be repurposed to be the Titanic.
Oh, shut up!
Eventually, the true Olympic, now secretly operating as the Titanic, would be scuttled in an accident, which the White Star Line could collect insurance payment benefiting a brand new ship, all while the ship originally built as the Titanic would have lived on. The only thing that ruined that plan was an iceberg.
Just minor detail.
So yeah, that's one thing, but how could they conveniently plan an accident?
Iceberg.
And the iceberg being unclaimed. So that was that's one big one of it was all an insurance scam. They wanted to crash the already damaged ship to get more insurance money to be able to build another ship, but meanwhile the Titanic would have never been destroyed.
Right. I mean, I could buy into that if it hadn't been the case where it sunk due to an iceberg. Yeah. But otherwise, the thought's there. I follow. It's always insurance. Follow the insurance.
Right. Other conspiracy theories claim that the reasoning for the sinking, J.P. Morgan was behind the switch, eager to use an inferior ship to drown his enemies aboard.
Same.
So murder.
Wow. What a petty bitch. Okay. Interesting.
So that goes down like a wild thing.
That is so extra. If you're gonna carry out murder, that's
right.
I borderline respect it.
Because J.P. Morgan was supposed to be aboard the Titanic.
The Titanic.
But he didn't. Something came up and he did not aboard the ship.
But of course.
So
interesting. It's fishy.
According to this theory, the millionaire banker J.P. Morgan planned the Titanic disaster to kill off rival millionaires Jacob Astor, Isidor Straus, and Benjamin Guggenheim, all who perished aboard the famous crash boat.
Wow.
Iceberg.
Once again, though, Morgan would have to know.
He would have to know. He would have to plan it and set up things perfectly to be able to, crash into an iceberg.
J.P. Morgan, a weather wizard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's... Anyway, carry on. Sorry to interrupt.
The theory hinges on the fact that Morgan had originally planned to set sail on the Titanic but changed his mind shortly before it took off. Yet it doesn't offer any explanation for how he caused the ship to hit an iceberg and kill over 1,500 people, let alone 3 men he supposedly intended to die. And when you think about it, because this is still true to history, it was upper class first, women and children
Mhm.
only, you know, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, upper class, if it was just women and children, it is likely that those men died because of that.
Yeah.
However, a lot of men also lived in the upper class because of selfishness. So I don't know.
Right, right.
To top it off, the theory claims that Morgan wanted to kill them because they opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve. Even though Astor and Guggenheim don't appear to have taken a position on it, Strauss actually supported that. Alternative versions of the theory claim that Rothschild baking family or the Jesuits were in
Jesuits?
Jesuits. Yeah, that looks like it says that. Were the
Is it
ones.
Jesuits?
Yes.
Okay, crushed it. Carry on.
Were the ones who arranged Astor, Strauss, and Guggenheim's deaths on the Titanic. As the Washington Post notes, invoking the Rothschild international conspirators is a centuries-old anti-Semitic
Say it again.
trope.
There it is. There it
The
is.
Rothschild family founded banking houses across Europe in the early 1800s, and they have been favorited target for conspiracy theories ever since.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
this theory resurfaced recently in the QAnon group.
Oh, good. Here we are.
A
Excellent.
far right conspiracy theory, if you guys don't know,
Mm.
detailing a supposed secret plot by alleged deep state against the U.S. president, Donald Trump.
QAnon's
It goes all the way
fucking
back to that.
nuts.
Anyways,
Christ.
so
Okay.
people truly believe one of two things happened: that it wasn't the Titanic, it was the Olympic, and that JP Morgan is behind this. But I don't think, I mean, I could entertain the idea that he wanted to plan a shipwreck or damage or something to get some insurance money.
Mm.
But no way can I say that he totally planned it hitting an iceberg and killing that many people.
Yeah, and I guess for me, it's like maybe he didn't go because A, literally something did come up, or B, he found out these other peeps were going to be on it. He was like, I don't want to be stuck on a fucking boat with these assholes. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Like,
Another reason why people feel that these theories are valid, it was denied harshly and aggressively for no pre-ship checks and inspections.
oh,
So,
interesting.
with that being said, were they scared that if there was an inspection, they're going to figure out it's the Olympia?
Maybe.
So, or the Olympic, sorry. And
Mm.
and why? Why? I mean, I get it. This was the unsinkable ship, but why would you waive inspections and why would you fight so hard not to have them?
Especially if you're going to have that number of people on board. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
it brings up a lot of questions.
It's
So,
just irresponsible.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's my
Wow.
wild conspiracy theory for you today.
That's crazy. Have I ever told you about my fascination with the
I'm
Titanic? Like, have you heard
obsessed.
about this shit? So when I was a child, like, I first, of course, became introduced to the Titanic through the movie. But the only reason that I liked it, and this is so fucking weird, I liked the movie for the parts where they showed the ship underwater and like breaking down and like shit like that, and I became obsessed with it from that point.
No,
Like
the way
obsessed.
things were preserved, me too.
Yeah, and just like and like oh, like literally as a child, I remember being like, well, what if there's still dead people in there? Like, what the fuck was wrong with me? But also like it fits. It's very on brand for me. So
Fun fact, that is a topic I have lined up: the bodies of the Titanic.
thank God. Thank
All of you
God.
all can wait for that. But no, I am equally obsessed with, very fascinated with it for so many reasons. But because of the ship underwater, I was like, this is so
Yes.
freaking cool. And then on top
Right?
of it, I I don't know how old I was. I was maybe in 6th grade. My sister lived in Vegas at the time, and they had the Titanic Expo, and they
Oh
had
yeah.
like things from the shipwreck, and it was so perfectly preserved because of the pressure of the water. And I just
Yeah.
thought that was so freaking neat. that
It's so cool.
yeah, and during that expo, you get a ticket in the beginning, and then at the end, you find out whether or not you survived. It's kind of neat. I survived, just in
Did
case
you
you're wondering.
survive? Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Actually,
Final
I
girl
think
energy.
I think I was the only one who survived because it was me and my two sisters. My oldest got first class. My middle sister got middle class, and I was, you know, I was in the poor people. So,
Oh my
and
god.
for some reason,
And you
and I was like,
survived.
well, I'm gonna die. I said it immediately, and my older sister, I'm gonna survive. She didn't survive, and then we actually learned about why she didn't survive, because she didn't want to leave her husband. So they died
Oh.
together on the during from the shipwreck, and I thought that was
Oh,
so
like,
beautiful because she just they had been married for some crazy amount of time, and she was not going to leave her husband.
oh my god, it's
Which
like the old people that they show in the
yeah,
movie. They're
exactly, I
lying
was
in the
like,
bed
which made me
together.
think of the people laying in the bed together.
Oh my god, I love that. Oh.
So, and how a lower class peasant like me able to survive,
Yeah, how
I
did
don't
you do
know,
it?
but I survived. They didn't have any info on me. I don't know, I guess.
Fucking pure grit. That's fucking how. You're you threw your fucking middle finger up to fate and you're like, I'm getting out of this bitch.
Watch me.
Fucking watch me. Wow, that's bananas. What a cool, like, first of all, very cool idea that they, like, for the expo
Yeah.
that they did that. I think that's really smart. But yeah, wow. Okay, well now that's something I've learned about our friendship today. We're both equally obsessed with the Titanic, so that fits the bill.
It just fits so perfectly for us.
That's correct. So awesome. Well, that I didn't, as obsessed as I am with all this, I didn't know these conspiracy theories. So thank you
You're welcome.
for educating me. This was
It
fun.
was fun
This was
to,
a fun, funky
yeah,
episode.
with a little bit
Well,
of
mine was
Moda.
sad. Yeah, mine was tragic and heavy, but yours was fun.
Yeah.
So way
So,
to go, you.
I think it was a good way to end.
I think so. Um, wow. Yeah. Well, here's a word of advice, everybody. One, if you happen to see a murder scene, maybe don't walk through it and gawk at it, right off the bat and everything. And two, if you're going to be taking a cruise, somehow find out if that shit's been inspected.
Also, I would like to point out that the White Star Line, really quick to end this, none of their ships were successful. All three
Well,
technically crashed.
wow. Well, maybe that's a case of sometimes you're just really not meant to be in a certain line of work.
Yep.
That is it. If you're 3 for 3 there, that's really pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah. So, um,
Well,
well, this is. Do you want to say
I'm
it?
going to say it.
Okay.
Until next time.
Stay strange.